thank you for joining us. Today, we're joined by a very special guest, someone I've been looking forward to speaking with for a while, someone who is definitely making some waves on the independent scene right now. It's Janai Kai. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Not a problem. Like I said, you've been making waves on the independents, and like I already knew who you was because I'd seen you posting graphics with Yo-Yo before, but recently I've seen your name popping up a lot as well. Like in your own right, you've got so much coming up, Mania weekend, which we will get to. But from what I've seen of you, it's blown me away. I mean, I saw on your Twitter bio you started training in martial arts at the age of 6.
Yeah.
And I mean that's probably one of the reasons it looks like you can kick anyone's ass in wrestling. But like, take us back to that. I mean, obviously, I'm guessing your love of martial arts came before your love of pro wrestling, but what was that journey for you like? I mean, martial arts at the age of 6, that must have been quite an experience for you.
Yeah, it definitely was. So it's funny how it first started, how I wanted to do martial arts. My mom tells me this story all the time, how my birthday was coming up, and she asked me what I wanted to do for my birthday. And she asked me while opening a phone book, and she told me to just choose something. Like there was a bunch of ads of like different sports and stuff like that, and I chose Taekwondo. There was an ad for Taekwondo, so I was like, I want to do that. And she was like, okay, that's what you want to do for your birthday.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So she took me to the school right away, and like right off the bat, I liked it, and the instructor saw that I was good to go. Like I could take the classes and everything since I was so young. They were like, okay, yeah, we could have her even start at white belt. We don't need to put her with the younger kids. We can just have her go with the older kids, if anything. So yeah, that's how I got started. And throughout the years, it was very serious to me, definitely, where I just started doing tournaments, traveling around for tournaments like almost every month and competing against other schools. And then I finally got my black belt around like 13, 14 years old, which is still pretty young. But from what everything I've learned, it's still sticking inside of me.
Yeah.
I still practice what I learned when I was younger. And of course, I still stuck with martial arts and moved towards like Muay Thai and kickboxing.
Yeah, so you don't just have one martial art, you're disciplined in quite a few martial arts.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, you can tell by your style in the ring, you have something different to a lot of people. Everything you do looks like it hurts, if that makes any sense. I know it's wrestling, it does hurt, but everything you do looks like it has that bit more impact on it. And I'm guessing that comes from your martial arts background. So how much did martial arts help with transitioning to pro wrestling?
It actually helped a lot, surprisingly, because starting with just wrestling training, like my first day, we just go over how we are with ring awareness and moving around the ring, seeing how we can really feel out the ring, how our body moves and everything. And for me, it was kind of natural, surprisingly. But I think what really helped was, like, I know how you said how like a lot of my kicks look very impactful. Well, I learned that from martial arts. Like everything is about precision and sharpness when it comes to martial arts and discipline. So I naturally applied that to my wrestling training when I was showed like what to do. So yeah, the whole process of that, just going from martial arts to just pro wrestling, surprisingly was pretty good.
So do you feel like it's helped you in the long run then, having that martial arts background coming into pro wrestling? Do you feel like that's given you an advantage to have like your own unique style, so to speak?
Yeah, I know. I get this a lot. A lot of people tell me, "Oh, like you're just yourself, really, in the ring. That's you." I'm like, yeah, it really is. And I think if anything, when it came to just trying to find my style, yeah, it did come naturally right off the bat. I was like, okay, I definitely could apply this to it. Why not? So
yeah.
I think with anyone though, like you can always find a little bit of something that you have like experience wise and apply it in the ring. But yeah, definitely, it's definitely been a good little advantage for wrestling.
Do you reckon you'd still have found your way to martial arts if you didn't open the phone book that day? Like, do you reckon you'd have still ended up doing martial arts at some point, or do you feel like that was just fate telling you to open that phone book and choose Taekwondo?
Oh, what? I don't know if that would have ever happened maybe at that age, maybe later. I'm not sure. The thing is, like, I was starting to watch wrestling at that age too.
Right.
So I don't know what my thoughts would have been like, because I wanted to do professional wrestling too, but it's like, would I have had that martial arts background if I didn't either? But who knows?
You could, you might still have found your way to pro wrestling, but you might be a completely different wrestler. So
yeah, exactly.
So what was your early memories of wrestling? You said that you liked wrestling too, as well as martial arts. When you first started watching wrestling, what was it like for you? Like, obviously doing martial arts and then watching wrestling, was you thinking did it seem like it was a martial art to you as a child, or was it something that, did it seem completely different to you?
That's a good question. I think from watching wrestling, what I really saw was me. Like, I was like, if I like applied like martial arts into that, if I was gonna wrestle, I would definitely do that. That's what I was mainly thinking about. But I like anything that's like combat sports or people fighting. Like, I like that type of thing. I like watching it. So that's definitely something that I really thought about when watching wrestling.
Well, speaking of that, like that combat sport, you like any contact sport. You coming up soon, Mania weekend. We've got to speak about it. You're at Bloodsport, and that's something that before you announced that on Twitter, I was actually thinking how great it would be to see you in Bloodsport, and then you posted that, and I was like, amazing. It's like you're absolutely the perfect fit for Bloodsport. Are you excited to get the chance to do Josh Barnett's Bloodsport Mania weekend?
Yes, yes, of course I am. That is something I actually been thinking about since even seeing that it was a thing for Mania. I think I saw that like 2 years ago or so, where I saw it was like an actual thing, and I'm like, oh, I could be so perfect for this, like imagining it myself and everything. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for it, and it's just so funny how like the announcement came about. Like, it was like what, last week or something, a few days ago. It was so random, and I was with my dad, and my dad is the one that like got me into wrestling. So he was trying to get what exactly I was talking about. I'm like, it's Bloodsport, Dad. But he's like really excited for me too, because he loves seeing that I'm wrestling, because I went to the live shows with him when I was younger.
Yeah.
So for him to see me doing this, he loves it. So.
What do you think about the idea of Bloodsport in general, like where it's this hybrid of MMA and pro wrestling? I think it's a really cool idea, and I think Josh Barnett does a great job of presenting it. So what's it like for you as a wrestler watching it?
For me, it's something I'm heavily into, because I'm huge with like martial arts films and like kung fu fight scenes and all of that. And I like just seeing anything around that realm. Like, that's exactly what I like watching. Like, this is what I want to see, like a fight, two different types of styles maybe, but it's martial arts backgrounds going at it one-on-one. Like, that's exactly what I like seeing.
Yeah, the way it's presented, isn't it? It looks like it's some kind of grimy underground fight, and I think that's what I love about Bloodsport, is it's the best parts of mixed martial arts crossed with pro wrestling. And I think that's such an exciting concept. But it's not just your first Bloodsport, it's also your first Mania weekend, I believe.
Yeah.
So that must be a huge milestone moment for you, getting that Mania weekend moment.
Yeah, because, like, I haven't been wrestling for that long. It's been, 3.5 years? I don't even count last year, to be honest, because, like, nothing really happened. But if anything, it's 2 years to me still. But, first Mania weekend. And I remember, of course, seeing, like, the other Mania weekends where everyone was making moves, and it's just so crazy. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, I really want to try it next time then. That this is what I want to do. So even though with, like, the circumstances of what's going on in the world right now with COVID and everything, it might be a little bit different, but I can still feel, the excitement of it.
Yeah. So, well, hopefully it'll be the first of many, many weekends for you. This is your first one. There's probably going to be more in the future, but are you looking to do as much as you can this mini weekend, or is it just solely Bloodsport that you focused on?
No, I'm thinking about doing as much as I can, for sure. because I'm going to be there from the 7th through the 10th, so like with the Thursday to the Sunday. So I'll be there like for the majority of the time. I am going to be doing Generation Championship Wrestling. That's going to be that Friday morning, and it's Best in Class. That's what the show is called. So it's kind of like a school type of related theme. It's really cool. So they're just trying to have more up and coming indie wrestlers be at the show and showcase themselves on there.
That's awesome. I'll definitely be checking that out because I believe it's most of them will be streamed on IWTV, especially the collective. And again, another first. Is it your first collective you'll be doing as well for GCW?
Yeah, it's gonna be my first collective. I know Generation Championship Wrestling, they're gonna be on Title Match Wrestling.
Title Match, yeah, I've heard of Title Match, yeah. Definitely will be checking that out. But the collective as well. I mean, like I said, it's your first one, and it's such a cool concept as well for a show. I mean, it's the last one was 14 shows over 3 days, I believe it was.
Yeah, and Fight Forever too. Fight Forever was pretty cool to be at.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You was at Fight Forever, wasn't you? A 24-hour show.
Yeah.
Did you get the good slot where it was like not 4 o'clock in the morning? Because some people we've spoken to have wrestled at 4 o'clock in the morning, and they said it was hard.
So for me, I didn't get to wrestle, unfortunately. I was there to help.
Right.
But I did come with a group of friends of mine. Like we always travel around together.
Yeah.
And they got to have a spot in the show. I think Yoya, he was able to wrestle like around midnight to I think it was midnight to 2 o'clock where it was Jimmy Lloyd's show.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, wrestled Jimmy Lloyd there, and then later like around I think it was like 12:30 the next day. Another couple of my friends got to do a spot. It was like a scramble match. So,
well, I'm sure they'll be doing more Fight Forevers in the future. It was a great success for everyone involved. They raised, I believe it was $50,000, which is a great amount of money. If you did get the chance and they said you're on at 4 o'clock in the morning, would you be up for that challenge?
You know what? I'll be up for it because they were nice about it with me. They were, because I was there to help, and they were like, hey, if you need to go, because I was staying at an Airbnb. They're like, if you need to go back to your Airbnb, take a quick nap, just have your phone by you. We're gonna call you if we need you. Is that cool with you? I'm like, that's fine, as long as I just need like a good hour nap, and I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'll be. So I wouldn't mind. I could get up. I actually I took a nap in my makeup. So I was like, all right, I'm going to be ready.
You were that ready.
Yeah.
You mentioned Yo-Yo as well, another person that I've been really impressed with since I found him. I was just scrolling through Instagram one day and came across Yo-Yo's profile. And as soon as I saw the shooter weight, I thought that's such a cool gimmick. Like, I love that name for a start, the shooter weight. And I was looking at his stuff, and then I found yourself, and then I've been following you both since. But one time I did speak to Yo-Yo, he was mentioning that you two might be a team at some point. Is that something you are doing currently or will be in the future?
Yeah, because we actually were thinking about, I think we did two intergender tag matches already. But as a team, we are Yokai, so we just put our names together, and it just worked out that way. It sounds pretty cool anyways.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we have our little name, so we're just, if anyone wants to intergender tag, we're here.
I dare say one of the most legit tough teams in wrestling right now then. You and Yo-Yo together, that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
background, I have my martial arts background, so.
Yeah, because he's legit as well, isn't he? He's got a shoot background. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see that. Is there any dream opponents when it comes to intergender tag or just tag in general for you both?
I'm not sure about a dream team to go against. But recently I saw Lady Frost and her man.
Yeah.
For a match. I'm like, hey, we can do something together.
That would be interesting. But another match I'd like to see for yourself. I'm sure you've been seen her, recently. She's just come back from Japan. Is Masha Slamovich. She's making a good name for herself right now. I think you and Masha could have some kind of magic together. That would be a hard-hitting match.
Yes, I actually saw her this past weekend, and I was talking to her about her experience in Japan, because I would love to go there too. And she was telling me about it, and yeah, seeing her match this past weekend, I went up to her. I was like, yo, that was beautiful. Like, I love your style. Like, that's exactly like what I want to work with eventually. So I definitely would have liked to have a match with her in the future.
Yeah, that would be a hard-hitting match, like I said, because Masha, she was good before, then she went to Japan for a year, and she's come back a completely different wrestler. She's just kicking ass.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned Japan as well. I mean, that would be somewhere you would fit in so well, I think. And is that something that's definitely on your radar for the future?
It is, and I did do a Japan tryout with Marvelous, and it was with Masha too. And so I'm still like keeping in touch with them and everything. And, I would like to eventually go over there, maybe wrestle for Marvelous, if anything.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, with everything going on with traveling and COVID, everything it's kind of shaky. So it's kind of like I want to keep in touch with them, and see if, like, hey, I did a tryout. Would like to see what's going on with you guys.
Well, fingers crossed for you. I think that would be amazing. Another place I've got to ask, being from the UK, when things are back to normal, can we expect to see you in the UK at some point? Because there's a great wealth of talent over here that I could see you mixing it up with. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Yes, because I was thinking about that yesterday. I was thinking, like, the UK definitely is a place I would like to go. Because I want to also test my abilities, because the style over there is different as well. So I would test my abilities against somebody who has that UK style.
Yeah, the UK style is a bit like, I don't know, it used to be more of a technical style of wrestling, but it still is technical, but maybe it's become more hard-hitting kind of brawler gimmick. Yeah, so that would be cool to see.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe when things open up, we can see you in the UK at some point before you head to Japan.
Definitely.
But yeah, before we start wrapping up, is there anything you'd like to plug, promote, merchandise, or anything? I know you've got a t-shirt store, I believe.
Yeah. So I'll start with my social media. So on Twitter and Instagram, I'm Janai_Kai. And then I also have Twitch. So I stream on Twitch as well. It's twitch.tv/Janai Kai. And then as far as like my merch and everything, I did just open up a Teespring store. It's called Teespring. You can find that link. I don't have like a custom domain for it, but you can find that link like under my Instagram bio. So I do have face masks on there that say Janai Kai on there. It's pretty cool. Someone bought one and took a picture, and it looks really nice.
Really?
So.
I might have to have a look, actually.
Yeah, I have a face mask on there, and I have, I think I put a sticker up on there. There is a t-shirt that's out, but it's not from my store. It's from another store. It's fullygimmicked.com.
Right,
so
yeah.
I have other wrestlers on there, and they just put my design on there. So you can find my design, my t-shirt design on there, and get it from there.
I think I'll check out the face mask, actually. I do need a wrestling face mask, so I'll have a look at that.
Color choices, so it's all really nice.
But like I said, Mania weekend coming up, Bloodsport, all the best with that. I think you're going to absolutely kill it. And I think you've got a very bright future. It'd be great to get you back on maybe in the future, later this year, discuss what it was like wrestling at Mania weekend. But until then, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.